Is this? Are we on? Oh, can't
We
even
live,
see
baby, we live.
it.
We're going to the World Cup.
We're going.
uh, First and foremost, welcome everybody. I think it's a good day to be South African, isn't it?
It's a beautiful day, my guy. It's a beautiful day, bro. We deserve this. We deserve this.
So I've got a
We've
bit
been
of
on this.
a confession. I've got a confession like Asha. I don't know if you guys have this thing where sometimes whenever you watch your team play, they just don't perform, and then you decide, you know what, maybe I'm the problem, and then you don't
Yeah.
watch, and then the results come through, and you're like, okay, good, great, and then the day that you go back and you watch, an L. That was me yesterday. Instead of watching Bafana, I rather didn't want to risk it because I thought I was the problem. I rather played football.
Oh yeah.
So that's why Chelsea just sadly one J. Because we know you're big Chelsea. Every time we're watching Chelsea, that's why we're losing, bro. Man, it makes sense.
Nah,
Oh, man.
like some real talk. It is Kinamachita, and I could hear people celebrating because we were there by the at Discovery Park, and we could hear people celebrating, and we'll pause, get out our phones, and check okay what's going on. But yes, I'll let you gents speak how, because I think you guys were living the moment. I mean, I was catching on with the fans.
Um, no. So yeah, I think yesterday was there's the whole joke about calculators. A lot of people obviously were still. I think it's just that trauma of the last World Cup qualification, how that kind of turned out. And but when I looked at it literally after the first half, during halftime, and I'm like, when you actually think about it, Hugo has had us on an unbeaten run for so many games,
Yeah.
18
and
months.
yeah, literally, and we've also come off a good AFCON. We've literally in a group with Nigeria, with Benin, and we still were able to top the group. And factoring coming into the game, I was like, hey, I don't know. I'm still dealing with the last World Cup qualification, how that turned out, and then the whole Mukwena thing just threw me off. I was like, gosh, this is written Mumish all over the place. But I think whatever team talk Hugo had literally before the game, I think really must have set tone to look, guys, we're literally there. Um, I saw the lineup. I think the lineup was obviously still kind of consistent. Obviously, a couple of tweaks. Pirates players, sorry, Pirates players, sorry. But yeah, no, it was.
Gents,
Nah, yeah, sorry, I can't help it.
gents.
Nah, never mind. Sorry.
It's
Yeah, but
never in
We spoke, okay, we spoke prior to the show about that we South Africans for today. The local rivalry means nothing. Okay,
yeah, okay,
Peter,
yeah,
go on.
I take it back. But no, yeah, the squad was quite solidified in the sense that personally I'm not a fan of Foster up front. I'm not saying he's bad, but I just
Mm.
haven't seen much in terms of him, especially when even looking now going to the World Cup. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with him up front, but we can talk about some other day. But overall, I think just the way Apollos, all the guys showed up for me was just wow. It was quite great to see Mbata and all those guys kind of stepping up from the first chance he got, put the ball in, buried the goal, and just the composure around keeping the ball. And yeah, I think overall, I think beyond the game, just this whole entire group stage, the team has kind of solidified itself. It's just obviously Safa, it has its own image to hold, but as a team, I think credit has to be given to the boys, the coach, for at least showing up. And I think at the last stage where you needed us to cross the line, I think the boys stood up. So credit to them. And yeah, say America, man.
Zweli,
Say America.
Zweli, last episode, which was on Monday, we could bang PMT. We only PMT this Tuesday.
I did. I was actually going to speak about that when Mr. OFS was done, bro. Yeah, no, mentally, bro, I really want to give the boys, and I know they're watching, I want to give them a big shout out because, damn, man, after the pressure of your admin stuff, after the pressure of your
Yeah.
admin stuff messing up things, that could really, set you back. You're gonna be like, what's the point? Just as you guys know, bro, when you're within a team and one member isn't pulling their weight, now you're gonna feel like, why must I show up if this guy's not? So the admin team really set us back, and it could have hurt us mentally. But like you say, Sihle, I feel like they had that BMT to say this game is everything right now. And shout out to Talent for getting that early goal, because I feel like if we didn't get the goal in the first 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, it was going to be another story, because maybe players' heads were going to drop, fatigue was going to kick in. So that first early goal, man, I think it set the tone. Like, hey guys, we can add another one and another one and another one. Like Mr. OFS just said, now that the team sheet alone, I love it, bro. It's very competitive. Hugo Broos has made me proud to be a Bafana supporter. He's instilled my faith in my national team, and I'm happy for the boys, bro. I could see them after the game. I don't know if you guys watched. I think you were playing Sihle. When you saw after the game, they were all still on the field talking to delegates, bureaucracy, all of this. You could see these guys were like, "Wow, I'm going to the World Cup." It's on their face. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, I watched the last I watched on the, I think, 65th minute, and I think by then it was done and dusted. The one thing that you speak on, the early goal, in that it settles the nerves, and because I think as a country we needed that early goal, because we going second half, Nigeria were going in 2-0 ahead against Benin in the 45th minute. And we did not need to be antsy about it, because unfortunately, the antsiness of the fans kind of trickles down to the field in South African terms. Because next thing they do this, you know what that means, right? They're not happy about this, they're not happy about that. So just that early goal, it settles it. We go in the second half, we 2-0 up, and I'm thinking to myself, we can't fuck it up now. Come on, we cannot, like, it cannot be that we brought so close only to, like, it's gone like that. Because as long as Nigeria, we forgot to thank Nigeria, by the way. They did us a solid. Before Sibabonge, and like get it off and done with, and then move on.
My bad.
But we think,
So
honestly,
we'll thank them in America if they qualify.
They're still in the playoffs, right? I saw 4 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're not, just tell us what's going on with the playoffs. How did they make it to the playoffs? Because my understanding is that if we got knocked out, or if Benin had qualified ahead of us, we wouldn't have enough points and the goal difference for us to be playing in the playoffs.
I'm busy looking at it right now, because you are right, bro. Just give me a second.
No worries. I don't know if you guys are wanting to go. Jared has just joined. Let me just allow him real quick.
I hope he's wearing shades. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. These motherfuckers took off their shades, bro. We got into the World Cup.
I can't see shit. That's why I took them off, man. Jared,
I'm just joking.
Before we even ask you how you're doing, man? How you doing being a South African right now?
I'm a happy South African, bro.
Bro.
To be honest, bro, like, I called Oshiman scoring on Monday. But honestly, I didn't see us winning 3-0, bro. They were actually everything that they were supposed to be against Zimbabwe. They did it against Rwanda.
Yeah, I think it was just what's the word? They just wanted attention, and there's a word they were looking for, the climatic end. You know, when you watch a movie and they take you cliffhanger, and then right there, and then they drop you just to remind you who they are. But really, you found the qualification, because I saw now that playoffs, it's 4 teams. Or you let me know when you find it.
Looking, my boy.
Are we gonna dissect the players? I don't want to individualize the performance, but are we looking at who was a standout player? I know there's a lot of question marks around Master Chef in the middle. There's a lot of question marks around him, and I don't. He's on an upward trajectory. I always struggle with that word. Given his past mishaps, and I don't want to put him under so much of pressure. I know that he's grown, he's old, and he should be under pressure, but I want him to succeed, but in me wanting him to succeed, I know where he came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, look, looking at some of the players, look, I think even after the game, Munzo Banenje even mentioned in the post-game analysis, even though I don't necessarily accredit necessarily to the fact that all the 11 starting players were all PSL based players. There was none of them that was like, we had to rely on some guy overseas. And not to say that we don't have to, but it just shows that,
it's a nice headache to have.
Exactly, it's a flex. You can say, yo, I don't need to tap in. I don't need to get no one to fly in. Chill. But it was quite refreshing to see all the 11 players. I will say, and again, I'm not going to tap into the team I support, but I mean the players that I just really want to say, respect, obviously Mbata getting that first goal. I know in the group, Cheese was obviously initially first off was going on Apollos, but Apollos to me had an amazing game. I mean, from his passes, his passes. I think in fact the whole entire attack, it was just on par.
Evidence.
The control of the ball,
evidence.
And I mean, usually evidence doesn't score with his head.
I want to add to what you said, that back in the day, we always used to have a focal point, whether it was Benny, whether it was, like, we always used to have one person who we are relying on goals. Right now, right now, we've got the wings, we've got the striker, even our midfielders can score. Talent just showed it today. So I just want to add to what Mr. OFS was saying, that it's incredible now that we have goals coming in from different players, whereas back in the day, that wasn't the case, bro. So yeah, I do have the table right now. So the top 4 teams.
Before we speak, Elico definitely settled us. Yeah. Think of the difference in atmosphere versus the Zim game, and yes, I said it. Jerry, I don't think you were here, and these two gentlemen here said, you know what? F the Super Eagles. I said thank them.
I said thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Right.
No, they still need to earn their pass. We can't all celebrate Metric. Others to be truly right.
Jared, you sound very, very far. I don't know. Your audio. I don't know. Sort it out, and let's really speak on the playoffs. Yeah.
So the top four teams going through to the playoffs are Gabon, DRC, Cameroon, and Nigeria. And because of, as Jared said, because of Victor Osimhen's hat trick and the other goal, they have 4 goals. That's what made them make through, because they got through on goal difference, which is a bit sad for Burkina Faso, guys, because they played incredible for the small nation that they are, and they just missed out on playoffs by 1 goal. So congratulations to Abo Agor. Well done, Nigeria. But it would have been amazing if Burkina Faso made it to the playoffs, because as we all know, with this World Cup, it is the World Cup for a lot of small countries to be able to shine. Because
Cape Verde qualified. Yeah. Population of 600,000. Someone made a joke that 600,000 is not even Soweto, because in Soweto 2011 they ran a population survey. I forgot what it's called, man. We were sitting on 1.2 bar.
Census or something. Yeah.
Census, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. We're sitting on 1.2 bar, and this is like 2011. So by now it should have grown. So Cape Verde, they bring on the heat, if you know what I mean. But yes,
I see what you did there.
So I watched the later part of the game, and there was control. There was, and it's something that we randomly see with Bafana. We were in charge. We were we're very effective and efficient going forward, and defense-wise. I was concerned TLB being suspended, and suspension, okay. I did get it, but I'm like, you don't lose your head in the last minute of the game. Meanwhile, you know very well that in a couple of games, a couple of days, you've got a game. But
You said
anyway,
it,
he's still,
you said it on Monday. You showed his age.
he's a 24-year-old, I understand. So we move, he will learn.
You show his birth certificate.
Evidence. We need to talk evidence versus that EPL boy, Foster. Nice problem to have. We can use EFCON as because EFCON this year, guys. I don't know if you're aware. EFCON is in December. First game is on the 22nd of December.
Yeah.
We can use EFCON as to test out in a professional environment, to test out new players that are coming in, to test out a couple of players maybe from the under 20 who were in the World Cup just now, had a brilliant run. And the talent pool is quite large.
Yeah.
Views around the striking, because we need to sort that out. We need goals.
Gentlemen?
From my side, I just wanted to say, I mean, evidence honestly has been Bruce's best striker. He's performed and showed up. I mean, at the club level, he hasn't really given much. I mean, him and Lapasa was a toss-up at a point. But honestly, for Hugo, he's shown up every time. I think even more than what Lyle has. As OFS has said, he's given us a focal point, which I think has been lacking for a while.
Yeah.
Especially just the big body sometimes to just be there.
Yeah. I think before you were on, Jared, we were speaking about how Hugo has given us faith and confidence in our national team. And I think Cece was also speaking, actually, we're all speaking about the lineup, bro. And I think what Hugo has done brilliantly is every player that steps into the field knows what his role is. You know, I think now you were speaking about Lyle not really offering us much on the national team. I think it's because he doesn't really know what to do. Must I drop and collect the ball? Must I act as a target man? Must I make my runs behind the defense? Whereas Evidence knows I'm here to hold these two defenders back. Give me the ball, I lay it off. You guys must upon us run. You know, so he knows what his role is. Whereas I think Lyle is trying, maybe, I don't know, it's the EPL crown. He's trying to show that I can do a lot. But I like Evidence's role,
I think also, guys, we have to factor in that when these guys get called up to the national squad and they get like a couple of days, professional as they are, there's certain rapport that you have to build over time.
Yeah.
Evidence, Master Chef, or police, same team. So there's that understanding. Unkota comes on. Unkota has spent time in the Pirates thingy. So there's that understanding. You're understanding the shortcomings of the player. You can't pass it maybe too much forward because he pays and you can't pass it to him directly because maybe his first touch is not that brilliant. So let's give him time. I've got faith in Foster, and I honestly, it's a nice headache to have.
And
what's his form currently outside of the national team, like on the EPL?
I think he's got 2, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's got 2 in the EPL. And he hasn't really taken. I think he's coming back off an injury.
2 goals, 1 assist. 2 goals, 1 assist.
No, when it comes to stats,
I think also just to add to what Sikle is saying, I mean, honestly, from my side, you know, there's a part also to say that Lyle has been not struggling, but he's in a team that's not going to score a lot of goals in England.
Yeah.
So he's always playing on the counter, and it doesn't really fit into the style that Bafana play right now. We actually a very ball-dominant team, in all honesty. Better teams that pushed us back, but against the teams that we can go toe-to-toe with, and I think that's the Sundowns and the Pirates influences that we have ball players in our team.
Yeah.
So that issue of him running the channel the whole time becomes an issue because he vacates that space that the other players are looking for.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Umbat?
Talent.
I'm going to be the first one to go right ahead and admit it. I've got a hatred for these. I'm not gonna even call their name. Yeah, that team.
Yeah,
So
man.
whenever they've got whenever they've got a talent, I'm like, "Ay, man, why can't we have such nice
Yeah.
things?" And then
Yeah.
he dons the national colors, and then he puts on a performance like that, and I'm like, "Ay, man, goosebumps!" Like he is. I don't want to say he's versatile because that takes away from his game, but he is who he thinks he is. He is solid. He is. Yeah, that's. I'll leave it there. I'll let the Orlando Pirate
I,
masquerade talk.
I think it goes down to squad selection, guys, because talent knows if I mess up, Mukwena's about to step in and run the show. So it's about competition. They know
Yeah.
that there's another guy who's sitting on the bench who can do what I'm doing, if not better. So I have to perform, you know? And as you can see, I mean, you mentioned Mahau Nkota the other time. Mahau's just performing better than Rile right now. And back in the day, because Rile is the star of Pirates, he'd be starting. But Bruce don't
Thank
play
you.
that. Bruce
Yeah.
don't play that. You don't play that. He's like, hey, yo, who's performing right now? Who can offer me goals? Who's going to make runs for me? And that's the player who's going to. I don't know if you guys saw, I know you weren't watching CK, when Mudau got injured and he was rolling on the floor.
First off,
The people I was watching with were all like, he's gonna say that he's injured, blah blah blah. And that man stood up because he knows if I don't play, there's someone else who's gonna take my position. So I want to give credit to Hugo for pushing players like Talent, because as we know, Mapagania, Talent is also inconsistent. One game he'll be the star of the show, the next game he's not doing anything. Then he doesn't play well, but he bangs a goal. So he's very inconsistent. But like you said, CK, when he puts on this shirt, bro, he becomes a different monster. It's because of that pressure, bro. It's because of that pressure. So once again, I know all of you Bafana players are watching. Shout out, guys. I'm so happy for you guys.
You're mighty proud. You are mighty proud.
I'm proud,
Yeah.
bro.
Jared,
This is
your
huge.
views on talent?
I think just to add to that point that Zelia said, I think, honestly, the midfield is, if you look at it, is actually pretty stacked.
Yeah.
You have Toboko, who I think will always start if he's available. You have Talent, Matusi Obas. You have Yaya Sitoli as well.
Listen to that.
And those three are busy fighting for one place. And I think even if you look at Sekukune, I mean, you have Site Sihle Mkize having a brilliant season.
Yeah.
Hola.
Yeah. Hot property. I just
Hot property.
I'll speak on who's Pesile. Just I'll speak on him. I've got a view on him. I actually forgot about him.
So I think, if you look at the depth in the midfield, we really running, there's competition. Gents now know they have to step up in this team. And let's be honest, Talent has taken us to a World Cup and to a AFCON.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He scored critical goals in both qualifications.
Yeah.
And I think since Klompo, he's the best striker of a ball I've seen. Maybe
before Peter speaks, there's a comment: Evidence versus Foster. It's like Pirates, Mabasa versus Evidence. Evidence is not an 18 area striker. He's one you use when you need extra bodies in the middle. You may not score, but he's always involved. And yeah, that entertains defenders. And
But
as a defender, you hate that entertainment.
Yeah.
But the irony is that Evidence is, typically the tall striker is the guy who's the 18 area player. He's the guy, I'm going to chill here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And then you expect a player like Foster to be the one who's going to hold the ball, get you guys up, pass. Nah, it's literally the opposite. But for me, I still will say, as much as I like Evidence, and obviously as the Buccaneer in the league, he's not that guy necessarily. But at the same time, I will say that there's still a lot of competition. I hope the AFCON in December is going to at least also kind of give a platform again to really solidify. Because I've always said, over the years, we've always had a struggle to establish a solid striker that's going to be the player that, as a country, is Yazoti. Yeah, this is our guy.
You walk into a tournament. You walk into a tournament, you know that your striker is going to give you at least, if it's group stages, if they play all group stages, they will give you at least 3 goals.
Yeah. And another critical part is the centre back for me. I think
the spy.
AFCON, you see there, I think there's a lot of competition, but there has to be someone who's going to really own that Kuti. Yeah, and this is mine now.
The
And obviously,
19-year-old is 26.
that's a fact. It's a fact.
But I think,
It's-
honestly, to add to that point, it's him and Ngezana for me. I think what we need to do is we need to give Ronwin a solid defensive partnership in front of him. And I think especially the physicality. I think that's something that we do get exposed, but at AFCON level, especially the West Africans, I think we do need some physicality in the centre backs. And, you can always play around. You can always bring in the boys from Sundowns because I understand the relationship is there. But, when you're playing against those West Africans, your Cameroonians,
and
your
they're quite lanky and they're quite
Yankees,
beefed up.
physical.
Yeah.
And you need those boys to be able to take that physical fight. And I think Mbokazi and Gezana are two centre backs right now that maybe not the most technically astute on the ball, but you don't need that sometimes, especially with Ronwin behind him. Ronwin is brilliant as a distributor of the ball.
I mean, we saw it against Dortmund. I mean, with Sundowns. You just see that striker. I can't remember his name. The Dortmund striker. I mean, the way he was dominating. Exactly him.
But I think also the other thing is in the middle we were talking about the amount of the talent pool that we have, and not to focus on Umasashev. I really want that boy to succeed. His story is the typical story of trial tribulation, and there's talent.
And second
So
chances.
every now and then I crack a joke. I'm like, yeah, AFCON is the timing of the AFCON is in and around December, which is brilliant. Reason being, he won't have time to be festive. So I just hope Hugo come close off when they close off the PSL. I just can't remember when they're closing it. They ship them off. They must hack Morocco to acclimatize. Even if it means they chill there for 3 weeks, they must all go. So they don't have a chance to go in festive. They must just hear that there is something called a festive in South Africa for this year. And this is in preparation for the World Cup. 27 years as he is, I think there's still quite a bit to give.
Yeah. I just want to speak on that also. I think back in the day, we used to worry about our players off the pitch, and their unprofessionalism, or they eating right, or they conditioned properly. But like we said earlier, guys, I think Hugo and I guess his coaching staff has brought this culture of professionalism. We were speaking about the under-20s. The under-20s right now are looking at our national team like, if one of you buckles, I have a claim. I have a claim to say, put me in, coach. So I love that, bro. And I think all of us who know about football and academy, we all know that professionals in the first team are worried about academy players, not that they're worried about players from outside coming to join the team, because the academy players are watching your stats, watching your conditioning, watching your behavior. So right now, it's the perfect time. Like you said, Sihle, AFCON is giving us the perfect platform to prepare for this World Cup, because Hugo has a talent pool where he can pull from the under-20s, his team, foreign players that are playing outside, as well as players playing within the PSL, which I think is incredible that most of our players play here because of that team chemistry. I was watching a Nigerian podcast and they were actually complaining about that because of all of their players coming from outside, they have to come.
It was quite livid.
Yeah. They have to come to Africa, and Africa has a different style of play. About 3-3-2, we're flank. We don't have time for that. It's 4-4-2 here, Baba. We are fighting. So right now, when you have players that all play within the PSL, you can chop and change formations, chop and change players, and I really do appreciate, guys. I'm screaming, I'm gonna get Hugo tattooed here. That man knows what he's doing, guys. He's got the
he is a boss. He is a boss.
Yeah,
and I'm offside. I'm offside for saying this. I'm offside for saying this. And I think I thought about it as you were talking about the under 20s, which they're watching the national side and whatnot. Do we the AFCON is in a month time? Well, not really a month. It's like it's a month and a half. Well, a fair bit. Sorry, October is done. If you're being honest. Who Villagas? Do we bring him with? I'm offside for asking. I just have to ask because I thought about it. I watched him and I've been impressed with him in the under 20 World Cup.
He cooks for the kids. Yeah.
He's playing his peers there. I get it. I understand. But Give it
What I
taking.
will say is just to add to your point. I mean, fair enough, but I think honestly, right now, the person that actually should be on his toes right now is Rene.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
honestly, I think Rene has a good two, let's say, last 6 weeks of the season, or before the break, Rene goes to the AFCON and starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he
And the thing is,
doesn't,
I
he
don't know what
loses
happened
out.
there. Maybe you guys can like shed some light. I recall that there were talks of him moving and whatnot. I don't think right now would be the best time for him to move.
No, mistake.
Nah,
Mistake.
if I, honestly, just to add to that point, I mean, Rene for me, him and Nkota, the reason Nkota got the move to Saudi was because of what he did in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And if we're being honest, Rene carried Pirates in the Champions League last year.
True.
And if on that basis, I mean, for me, he should rather look at this as an opportunity
Yeah.
and say to himself, he has an AFCON and a World Cup to sell himself to the biggest clubs in the world.
Yeah. Just to close, just to answer them to Doozy question, Sihle, I just want to say personally, we're speaking about how jam-packed our midfield is. I know we're only speaking about defensive midfielders, but even attacking forward, I just don't think he can squeeze above the likes that we have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're talking about the physicality, we're talking about the physicality of the World Cup. How many games are we going to play with his peers, with the kids? He's hot. Let him develop. Let him keep like building there. But right now, and I'm sorry to say this, like, I know you support the boy, bro. He plays for your team. Like, I can't have one mistake right now, bro. I'm not saying
Yeah.
we're gonna win the World Cup. I'm not saying we're gonna win it, but I can't have a mistake where a coach brings up a player because maybe they were performing well at the under-20s, but they're just not ready for the World Cup. The World Cup is huge, bro, and there's so many factors that you have to consider, bro. Like the actual traveling from Mexico, America, Canada. Those are all going to be factors that have to be factored in, and the different, like a Mexican stadium, guys, filled with Mexicans and Latinos is going to be completely different to a Canadian stadium, So there's things
To
that
an
I
American
don't.
stadium.
And
You know what I'm
weather,
saying? You know what I'm
the
saying? So
weather
I
between the
think,
two countries.
yeah. So I think right now XP is huge. I'm not saying age. I'm just saying XP because Mbagazi is a kid, like we know. But he's got the XP. He's got the XP. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
want to say.
And
For me,
Urele, honestly, guys. Oh, so sorry, Peter. Urele, is he injured? Is he coming back off an injury now, or is he just
Yeah.
off form?
Nah, he was injured. That's why he was released from camp as well.
Whew.
for
It's
me,
gonna be a
for me,
tough 6 weeks for him.
for your
You would
boy,
think-
I think I would say that it should be more on the current set of midfielders for them to flop.
Yeah.
So it's more on them than for
Yeah.
Pelakazi to prove himself. So if they don't show up, then like we spoke earlier, then hey, they got kids waiting on the line. We got ample players waiting to take that place. So it's more on them to kind of maintain, whether it's Mbule, all these different guys gotta keep on showing what they can do, the physicality they have, the talent they have, the experience they have, maintain that. Because the first moment you have where you're costing us, where you're not showing up in vital games, the nation's gonna be like, yo, there's this kid who's been rocking up, and the coach is gonna have to be like, yo, make a big decision. So it's more on these guys who are experienced to keep on maintaining a level of standard. Because
True.
we I don't know
Very
how the
true.
group stage is gonna look like in AFCON, but obviously if we get a tough group, we expect
No,
our team to
I think the AFCON
Yeah,
is out.
Egypt, Zimbabwe, and Angola.
Yeah.
out already.
That was our first
Yeah.
game.
Oh, okay.
And
But I think-
who thing he kills me? What's his name? Hugo. I firmly believe Hugo is not trained with media. He just speaks his mind,
does.
and it comes off a bit brash sometimes. And he's one manager, not to sound arrogant, he can back it up with his achievements,
The results,
and he
yeah.
can make that big decision.
Yeah.
I
That's
was
why.
just going to say, just to add to what OFS was saying also, I honestly, guys, don't be surprised if Hugo takes someone from one of the clubs, smaller clubs that's busy
Yeah.
doing well. He did it with the Palace. Look
Yeah.
at Sekupune right now. Look at someone like Ileto Mahawa.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant winger. And don't be surprised if someone like that gets a seat on the trip to the World Cup if they continue
Yeah.
to go. And he's shown us, I mean, he brought a Palace from Polokwane City
Yeah.
Imagine.
and was starting it.
Yeah.
So he's earned the right, I mean, like you're saying, Sikri, he's earned the right to say what he wants and to make, I mean, in his press conference afterwards, he said, you guys question me at points.
Mm.
And look at my results.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the sorry. This is the group B, right? Angola, Egypt, and Zim.
Which I love. Which I love because Egypt's going to give us a challenge.
Mhm.
I don't. Zimbabwe's probably angry at us. I don't care. Angola might also give us a bit of a challenge. But I didn't want us to have a weak group. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
wanted us
Yeah.
because right now, guys, if we lose AFCON, whatever. I just need us to use it as a platform to analyze players and actually move forward.
But I think also for us, that group is actually ideal for us to a certain extent
yeah,
because we do well against other Southern African countries and against Northern African countries and East Africa. It's the West Africans we
the Western
always struggle
yeah,
with.
yeah.
If we get a good run and we get a good draw,
Senegal.
yeah, I know. Look, Senegal is stacked, man. And that team right
Yeah,
They're
now,
incredible. They're incredible.
bro. But like I say, look at how we went last AFCON. We got Morocco. And like I say, North African teams, we've always done well against them. It's really the West Africans who we struggled against. If we get a fair draw, I think we can honestly get ourselves back to the semi-final or even into a final if the luck of the draw is on our side.
Agreed.
hey, but I'd hate for, and this is just maybe the fear in me. I'd hate to go into the World Cup as Africans' #1 team. I don't know. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, maybe I'm
Nah,
what,
you know
what
Get up.
Rick Ross had an album, Scared of Success or some shit like that. I can't remember
Nah,
the
because you know when you have that
Suffering.
title, you can go every team, country you're gonna play in the World Cup will know that hey, we're
Yeah.
going against a team that literally is the best in Africa. So I
you walk
literally
around
prefer
like
that.
this.
Yeah.
That's what I was just gonna say. The funny thing is, I actually think, and it's just maybe my delusion sometimes, but Bafana actually does better when, yes, sometimes when we are the underdog going into stuff. Generally, we've seen that we can rise to occasions. We really struggle when it's expectation on us, where we expect it to win. That's when we really have difficulties. But also going, like you said, going into a World Cup as AFCON, as champions of Africa, also gives you a different level of confidence. And
Yeah.
this World Cup, you can get a good draw in a World Cup and find yourself out of the group stage and in the round of 32 and round of 16 before you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw the list is we're not even halfway and it looks
Yeah.
long. It looks yeah, it
Zinini.
looks very long.
When you're seeing Uzbekistan and New Caledonia in a
Bro.
World Cup,
And my
Bro.
favorite African country, Cape Verde. I guess with those guys.
Number one.
What's next for Ibafan? We get rid of the team manager because he's
that is
shown that he's not up to the task.
he should have been removed yesterday.
Have a couple of I think yesterday they needed to bring
ABC
the castle
Motsepe
that they
style, ABC Motsepe league style on the pitch.
Proud.
what's next? Couple of friendlies before because I think 6
Yeah.
weeks is it roundabout because the first game that we have is on the 22nd of December, which is in but plus minus about 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next? What do we? Yeah, because I think now the real work starts, as they like to say in corporate.
Look, I think just to add, I mean, just to say something, Hugo's press conference yesterday, that 5 minute clip was literally spot on. I mean, he did say, this is me done after this. But I think it's very important words that he said before that. He said, well, I'm going to retire after this World Cup, but there's an AFCON coming up, and these boys need to be ready.
Yeah.
And you know what? The job's not done. Kobe said it. Job's not done.
Yeah.
Got to the World Cup, great. Job's not done. Let's go become African champions.
Yeah.
That should be the target.
I just want to add to the fact that, guys, like you guys know, I'm singing Hugo's praises right now. The man has an AFCON, that winning mentality, guys. I just love it, because when you enter any competition knowing that I'm the best, yes, there's pressure. There's pressure because you have to perform, but it also gives you that arrogance, and there's a fear factor in it when your opponent stares you in the face and they're like, yo, this guy's actually won something. He's won a trophy. The team knows how to play together. So, Sika, to answer your question, right now it's about management, bro. Like, in terms of players, in terms of knowing their roles, it's also about learning your opponents. Obviously, we don't have we do have AFCON, we have the fixtures, but not for the World Cup. So that level of professionalism right now is going to help us prepare even better for the World Cup. Because back in the day, I think it was just, hey, Doctor's got talent, he'll do whatever he does. But now it's like, yo, everybody's
got talent, he'll do whatever he does.
You know what I'm saying? But now everyone is a cog in the machine, and this machine has to be well oiled and it has to move forward. Back in the day, you could just rely Mbule, for example, you just rely on your talent. But Mbule has to perform right now because no one's spot is secured. AFCON,
you remind me. You remind me of you speak of like individual players who grab the game by the scruff of the neck and decide, let me show you who I am. Phil Masinga, South Africa versus Congo, DRC Congo, 97. This was to qualify for the 98 France World Cup. He decides, if what everybody else, because we're struggling in that game, we're really struggling. He decides, I'm going to be the man of the moment. And this is like FNP when it was like called Soccer City. That whole freaking stadium, the camera was shaking after he took that shot. We are going to need that. In as much as it's a cog, as you put it, there has to be a few players that have that magic stardust, that have that self-belief besides being part of the team. And it's exciting to know Apollo. I don't doubt the talent is there, and he'll always give you a solid 8. He will always push a solid 8. With Morena, he has his days where I ask myself, what's going on? The backliner, as I think we've spoken at length, who do we have as our 4 and our 5? Because Uspise, I like the question. I'd like to have question marks around it, but back to the point that I was making before I go through the whole squad. We are going to need players that have aborele, that have that magic that you can't train. If that makes sense.
No, you're right.
I will say for me, like, going into a World Cup, there's a couple of things that need to be done from an operational side and obviously just from a skill level. This is the big leagues. This is where you get the whole world to look at you, and I think this is the chance for all our players to also look at this, not just the aspect of we're playing in a World Cup. This is also a chance to kind of make a legacy and kind of put your name that, people look back on, South Africa's in the World Cup, and whether it's relay, whether it's evidence.
We hadn't qualified for the World Cup. 2010 was because we were the host. The last one that we qualified was
2002.
And it's gonna be that thing of where if one of them shows up, especially where it's key, your name is gonna be placed up there when each time someone talks about the World Cup as a country to say. So this is not just about, we just go to the World Cup, I'm just gonna hopefully do as I normally do on any other game. This is really the big league. And you need a player who's gonna really unlock that sense
if any of these players need motivation, they should study James, that Colombian who went and joined Madrid. brilliant
Yeah.
World Cup, and lo and behold, he signs for the best team in the world. So
But I
they can learn from
mean,
that.
just from a
And-
even just
mm,
from a South African perspective, look at Benny.
Yeah.
Benny
Quinton.
goes to Quentin. Benny goes to AFCON, scores 4 goals against Namibia, and goes to Ajax Amsterdam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think more than anything, and again, not to speak negatively because we're speaking on a high. Safa also, and I think also is just we look at
We
look
try
at
to
how he
be
was.
positive.
No, wait, but this is important to say. This is important to say. Like, I think for a country to be in the World Cup, that really, we look at how other sports, how much investment, how much pride.
Yeah.
This is where we need to kind of put that emphasis on national pride and
Yeah.
bringing people together. Fine, we know the negative aspects, but this is the one chance. Forget,
Okay.
just fix that aspect of bringing us together, how you market our team going overseas to play on the bigger stage. This is the one chance you get to bring us as a country to really bring that sense of collectivism, to identify and take that national pride to say, yeah,
And corporate South
because
Africa, we are watching you. We are wanting you to bring back those, what are they called, those Fridays, where it's
Bafana
Bafana Bafana
Fridays.
Friday, those Boca Fridays. We need those to happen. We need, what are these things? What are these, the fan parks? We need those
yeah,
to happen. Hey, but fan parks are going to be tricky with the time difference. If you're in America, 7 hours,
No,
you
yeah,
3
can't.
a.m. No. I just wanted
3 a.m.
to
Yeah.
I wanted to add to what Mr. OFS was saying, bro. I don't know if you guys saw that Adidas is gonna be sponsoring us, and
Yeah,
that's
but
only
Adidas.
happening.
they,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I said
That,
that. I said that. I said, did they leak the? Because I think it's a soft launch on their
Yeah,
part.
what is
Because they
yeah,
went and they
Lecoq
celebrated.
expires in December and they haven't renewed Lecoq.
yeah,
So they'll be at the AFCON, and I don't know who's taking us to the World Cup.
yeah. And the caption I saw was "Count us in," right? And I
Yes.
want to speak to what Mr. OFS was saying once again about brands and all that stuff, right? When you're a winning brand, look at the Springboks, guys. When you watch a Springbok game at halftime, there's like 50 adverts from Spur to insurance to outsurance to this to that to that. When you win, guys, things come to you. So Adidas jumping on us is huge, guys, because we join a big caliber of other national teams. I hope our players can see that they're not just going to play Nedbank Cup. They're going to play at the World Cup, guys. This is huge. So all of those factors, are just adding to the what's the right word? The aura, the bravado, the need for them to perform. Like you said, Sihle, if these boys don't see if these men and boys don't see that this is the stage to shine, for that individual brilliance to step up, I don't know what is. AFCON will be incredible for them to use as a stepping stone. But the World Cup, guys, that first game, we need a dub. We need a win. And couldn't draw. We just need a win. It sets the tempo. It sets the expectations. It's like Hugo's a winner. We need to win.
Look,
And
I
Facts.
think,
people, yeah, go
I
for it,
think
Jerry.
just to add to that, I think we it's a unique situation before Bafana that hasn't been felt for like 24 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sad but true.
But I mean, they got there without by themselves. It
Yeah.
wasn't a you guys got through because you're hosting the World Cup. And I mean, even at the World Cup, they stepped up. I mean, we were we played France off the pitch in Bloemfontein that day, and we nearly got ourselves still through.
Yeah.
But here's it, man. I mean, here's a chance for these boys and men, like you say, to go, to experience something that they might not experience again.
In their
But
lifetime.
In their
100%. But
lifetime, bro.
Yeah.
what this should be is the catalyst to us becoming consistently qualifying at the World Cup again.
Asiboli.
Sorry, I was just
When,
trying to show you the
Yeah,
Kansas in.
yeah,
we're wearing shades, my guy. Gents, looking at the time before we call it, any last words of I know as a country, the happy meter, oh, sorry, yeah, with that index that measures happiness, it's off the scale. Anything to add before we call it? We'll forget about all the things that are wrong with the country, Safa, whoever.
Kaiser
We
Chiefs.
we are. That one.
So,
We've just said we now
so it's,
we focus on the positives and whatnot. Last words
but
before
you're
we
listing
leave.
the okay, sorry.
No, we don't want to talk about that. Yes, Peter, you go. Jared goes. Zweli goes, and then we close it off.
I think if anyone is watching from the team, I think credit to you guys. I mean, this is a big achievement. A lot of us growing up used to always play soccer in the streets. You'd always see the idea of one day making it big. But even though you're not playing for a Barcelona or whatever, to qualify for the World Cup in itself is something you must take pride in. And I think for all the hurdles we have to deal with as a country. I mean, this whole Mukwena thing was already one of like, here we go again. This country, these people, there's always someone in the back office in jail. The kid boy, I don't know, someone. Yeah.
It's
But
at the
the
system
fact,
offline.
the system offline, and we've kind of got kind of made that a habit of kind of having that perception as a country with all the stuff we deal with. And this is one moment where, outside of rugby and, cricket, they did well this year. We've now also added football into this as well to say
Yeah.
our football team is also one that can stand there, and this is now the chance to say, you know what, as a country, when it comes to sports, don't play with us. And I hope that as
Art,
you listen
sports,
to
and
us,
culture.
yeah, and count out definitely we've been doing that. Yeah, except for the minister. But yeah, so I think all collectively there's a lot of opportunities for us to take us even further. I would even say that let's just limit at the World Cup. I think just looking at how we've transitioned as a country with the quality of football. I mean, just look at CAF itself from a club football level. Sundowns has been dominating. Pirates has
Yeah.
been there knocking every single time. Stellenbosch has been there knocking. So it just shows you the talent is there. I see us in 10 years' time. You have all these players, 3 players playing from the big leagues. You have a league that's already obviously hoping that there's a fix in SAFA, a league that's revamped with the quality. But overall, the country is looking like there's hope. And I'm glad that this game, this group stage, and even the overall run with Hugo. So over and above Hugo, I no, you've kind of reshaped. So credit to you, man. Hugo,
Yeah.
shout out.
He's watching. He's gonna comment just now.
What's it?
Jared, go for it.
Yeah, no, just to add to what OFS has said, I think, as I said earlier, it's been 24 years, bro. And 24 years is a long time for a country the size of ours to not be able to get there. And I think a generation of players missed this opportunity, and these boys must take in what they've done. But as I said, going forward, I hope that this becomes the norm.
Yeah.
This should become what not the pinnacle of the achievements. This should be the expectation.
Yeah.
Hugo said it himself, this is his whole target and his whole aim at the end of this is to see us become the most dominant team in Africa. And I think there's nothing stopping us from there. We've got the league. We've shown we're the only country right now that's producing local teams that can compete with the North Africans in the CAF Champions League. And we put out a team of locally based players, and they've taken us to a World Cup.
Yeah.
So, like you said, OFS, the cream of the crop should be going, and we should be watching them in Champions League games, in the UEFA Champions League.
True.
It's been a while since we've had that opportunity, and I think there's a good opportunity for these boys. I think there's a group, just as you said, I think there's a group of players coming through, and we're on an upward curve. As I say, everything despite Safa is they need to, the boys must take the credit. This is Hugo and the players.
Yeah.
They've taken us from a team that no one wanted to watch. I remember days where we used to go to the stadium and it was just a pocket of us watching games.
Yeah,
unless it was the opposition being a big team,
yeah,
to people actually going to actually watch Bafana games. So they
yeah,
need to be real on that and look at what they've done and take forward that momentum that's built. Because, yeah, man, there's nothing that can really stop them. I mean, we showed in 96, when you're on a wave of momentum, you can really become, we have enough talent in this country to become the best in Africa and to go compete with the best teams in the world.
yeah.
Facts, facts. Ready?
Just to add to what Mr. OFS said and Jared said, I think for the longest time, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm so football orientated, right? I've always thought that my country's a footballing nation, but it's not. It's a rugby nation. So when there is this trajectory where our football is doing well, it makes me feel good. Like Mr. OFS said, it brings hope within our footballing, within our sports in general, because it is the biggest sport in the world. So I really feel that energy in the world. Not 2010 energy because that was different, but there's something in the air right now that's cooking. Whether
Yeah.
it's our grassroots level football, because I don't know if you guys watch lower leagues. Where there also there's talent there. Up to the first league, sorry, up to the national team. So right now it looks good. If this was a graph, it looks like we're going higher, and I'm feeling like this is becoming a football nation again. So yeah, I'm very proud of the boys. Hugo, you're my guy, bro. I need you as my life coach.
Everyone here, bro. That man needs an order of or tumble, dog.
Yeah, he needs. I know we don't knight anybody, but he needs to be Babamkize and
Knighted.
Hugo Broos. Yeah, he needs to be Babamkize
We
or
need to make
something.
him an ancestor of ours.
Yeah,
Oh,
Whenever
was
we're
that
in
one way,
trouble.
bro? One of the ancestors, bro.
yeah, bro. But
Yeah,
shout out,
I
boys.
think
Shout out.
yeah, I think there's an air of excitement in the country, and not just what Bafana has done. Something is happening in our country,
Yeah,
and it's like it's a turning point, and everything seems to be meeting at the exact same time. We will look back at this like 5, 10 years. Like there was that year when everything seemed to just come right. Like
yeah,
there's that I don't know. I can't put my thing on, but like something is happening in our country. It's beautiful to watch, and I think you guys nailed it when you said thank you, Bafan. Like
yeah.
you've done us proud.
Wow.
Like you've brought back that Bafana '96 spirit. We when Bafana won, we knew that cars were gonna be in the street. Beep 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 beep. That was gone. That pride was gone. You've gone in and you've brought that back. Thank you for that. We needed it as a country. Springboks and the Proteas can't do it alone. It's your responsibility to get everyone else to believe that there's more to South Africa than just looting.
Can I
I think
also just add that for me, a lot of people used to make the banter that as a country, Nje, our focus is that street football, spy two, as
Yeah,
soon as you
yeah,
win the game, now you're playing around. But there's also a level of professionalism that's coming to the sport that I
yeah,
think,
you need
as
to
we
plan for
speak
it.
about, from the actual just training aspect, even I mean, really spoke about, guys out the lifestyle outside of football. There was a reputation. You don't hear that about this kind of players anymore. You don't
yeah,
hear, there's the player is out here, he's at Conca,
yeah.
who's in, and he's a
Maybe
national
because
team
Nkonga
player.
is closed.
Hey, you just
It's a
had, you
joke.
just had
It's a
to,
joke. That's a joke. I think
but
we can. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go for it, man.
yeah, but I think, this is one time where I think, as a country, we're really shaping the professionalism of football. Because lastly, just to say, growing up, you used to always look at your Cristianos, you look at your players overseas, and you'd idolize them, and you kind of separate South Africa like this. No
Yeah,
way. Yeah, and you'd have your exceptions of your Brunos, your Pinas, and you'd be like, okay, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
your
Torres,
Benis,
your.
Ben, yeah, but like looking at now the quality of football that we're producing, I don't even separate them to say, what, these guys are in complete different league. It's just
true,
step up that you gotta show up, and you're almost there,
Thank you.
literally.
True. Yeah,
true.
very true. Very true.
Right.
Guys, I forgot to mention like, comment, subscribe, and for everyone that watched, the comments much appreciated. I think we can call it. And this was a special edition just to go and right ahead and show that we're not only negative when it comes to Bafana.
They
Yeah,
see
with
the
that being
shades.
said,
They see the
think we
shades.
can call it, gentlemen. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you, Bafana.